Yes, the book she's reading to us now is about the Depression. That's the name of it, the Great Depression. Well, of course, I I remember that very well, and I remember World War One real well. And one of the books that she just finished was about the wars that America has been in since the Civil War. The Civil War's not in it, but from there. Well, I remember all of those.
How old were you during World War One?
I was 11.
11.
11 when my two brothers went, and one of them served a lot in a hospital where they had that, they had that what they called Spanish influenza. That's what they called that, and they had to the doctors got it, nurses got it, and they had to send some of the boys that was in service in to take care of them. And so I remember all that. I had it. Oh, I had it. Our whole family had it, but I had it the worst. And now that was the first house we lived in. You see, I got a fur. In those days, it was a stylish thing to have a fur. Or a little bit before that, muff. You know what a muff is?
Will you put your hands in it? How old were you here?
Well, let's see.
That's really young.
I was, I believe I was 21, and we were the same age. That house was the way the farmers did in those days. They hired a married man, and they provided a house. They provided your chickens. They provided one cow to milk.
Oh, wow.
And you didn't get a fortune. He got $50 a month.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I didn't have any job way out there in the country. There's not many come to that reading. There's not too many remember the politics. My mother and dad weren't just exactly politics, but they read a lot. We got several daily papers, and they read, and I heard them discuss the different candidates and so on. And so now in this book, they're named, and I say, "Oh, I remember that one. I remember that one." Others don't.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first presidential candidate you voted for?
That I voted for. No, but I remember when my mother couldn't vote. I remember I was just a little runt, and where we voted was in Columbus City. You see, they didn't have a voting precinct in Columbus Junction. So my dad was going to go up to vote. He always voted. And my mother and my older sister and I went with him, and we had a car. We got a car pretty quick. Anyway, we had the car. And I sit in the front seat with Dad. It was an Overland, a new Overland. And I'd sit in the front seat with Dad, and my mother and big sister in the back. And I remember we drove up in front of that precinct, and it was upstairs. And see, small place. And he went right up and voted and went right back. And as he came to the car, I said, "Who won?" And of course they all laughed and made me kind of, I said, "Well, Dad has voted. Why don't they know who won?" I remember that. I remember that happening. I remember I didn't like it because they laughed. Are you going to run for president someday? I'm not a Democrat. I won't vote for you.
You wouldn't vote for your own great-granddaughter?
No, not an old Democrat. Now, am I right or wrong? Don't answer. Because I know.